Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. I am Quanecia Fraser.
And I am Haley Watson.
Today's top stories include learning about the RAD Self-Defense Program.
And Matt Hill reporting on Texan basketball, ranked #1 in the region. These stories plus more coming up next on Texan TV.
In campus news, rape, aggression, and defense, also known as RAD classes, will be available for women February 27 through March 7. One of our reporters, Emily Parker, sat down with Officer Amanda Miller and discussed what RAD is, why it's important, and when it takes place. Here is what Officer Miller had to say.
Hi, I'm Emily Parker, and I'm here with Officer Amanda Miller, and we're going to be talking about the RAD program. So, what is RAD?
RAD is an acronym, stands for Rape, Aggression, Defense. It's a basic self-defense course for women that we teach here at the university free to all female college students and actually for the community. It's kind of our give back program.
That's awesome. So what is it? You said it stood for what again?
Rape, Aggression, Defense.
Aggression, Defense. All right. So why did you want to be a part of the RAD program?
Well, when I first started here at Tarleton, they said, "Hey, you're a female." I'm like, "Oh yeah, last time I checked, okay. We need you to help with this program." Great. Went in there, and I was very impressed by the instructors and how professional they were and how much they helped the young ladies actually develop some self-confidence, become more aware of their surroundings. Most of self-defense is 90% education and 10% is the cool stuff, punching bags and actually applying that. But it was just so amazing to watch their confidence build over just those 4 days, and then see them around campus wearing their RAD shirts and going, "Hey, yeah, I remember you." It's like, "Yeah, hey, you still practicing?" "Oh yeah, I practice in front of the mirror, and hey, I yelled at this one guy because he got too close to me the other day and it worked." So, so that's really neat.
Awesome. So what are the times and the dates for this?
This semester we're teaching RAD February 27th and 28th, and then March 6th and 7th. It's one course built over 4 days. A lot of that is for muscle memory. We can teach you how to punch and kick and all the wonderful education to go with that of when and that's appropriate to do the punching and kicking and yelling and screaming. And we build upon that every day for muscle memory. If I teach you one day, yeah, okay, you think you got it. On the second day, hey, I kind of remember how to do this. That third day, you just keep building onto it. You remember it and retain it longer, and then of course your muscle memory will take in, and just because you may not, oh, I need to do this, your body can go ahead and go do it for you. Kind of a pre-planned response.
Okay, so will the people who decide to go, will they get a chance to kind of act it out or get things going?
Definitely. The first night's a lot of instructions, and then we start building on top of the program, and by that fourth night, we have a wonderful volunteer, Sergeant Chloe Murray. He puts on the big red man suit, and you get to practice everything that we teach you. Well, just about everything. Some things hurt a little too much, but he does. He'll put on the red man suit and take every punch for every girl that wants to go through that class. He has a daughter he's very, very protective of and very, very proud of. And he will do anything and everything to assist the women here on campus to build that confidence and go through the motions and connecting with those hot maneuvers and showing, hey, this does work. He'll take all the bruises. We tease him all the time. He loves getting hit on by women. So he'll take all the bruises just for a learning curve.
Right. Awesome. That's really, really cool.
It's the only time in life you can legally assault a police officer.
Well, now I'm in. I'm going to have to sign up. So, how do you sign up?
You sign up by emailing Detective Bent at Bint at tarleton.edu, and send her an email. Says, hey, I'm going to attend the RAD class. I'm very interested in it. We'll get a head count, but if you miss the deadline or you just forget, it's not really a deadline. It's the night up. Just show up anyway. We'll make accordance. We'll make another book. We'll make sure we have enough T-shirts for everybody because it's a Tarleton function. We get you a T-shirt,
right?
And of course we'll get you a whistle, and then top it off the cake. You can assault Sergeant Chloe Murray when the time comes appropriately.
Okay, so we get to assault an officer. We get a free T-shirt. We get a whistle and a packet on just a whole thing of how to remember exactly what to do.
Exactly. Everything. We want to make you rich, famous, happy and healthy in the college environment. We're just trying to help facilitate all of that for the university.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
You betcha.
As you can see, RAD will be an excellent experience for women to get informed and practice on how to defend from any attacks.
In local news, Marty Yates of Stephenville earned a major win at the American Rodeo this past weekend. Yates won $100,000 after finishing in first place for calf roping. The 22-year-old finished ahead of Timber Moore from Aubrey, who won $25,000. Yates has also competed on the Tarleton Rodeo team. WranglerNetwork.com says Yates is an up-and-coming calf roper who has been very successful since joining PRCA in 2013. The Wrangler Network also reports that Yates qualified for his first Wrangler National Finals Rodeo in 2014, finishing in 5th place. In his first national championship, he won the 2015 Ram National Circuit Finals. Other competitors who finished in first place at the American were Haley Kinzel for barrel racing, Cody DeMoss for saddle bronc riding, and Sage Kimsey for bull riding.
And now, today's Texas, national, and international news from the Associated Press. In Texas news, a former neurosurgeon from Dallas begins a life sentence today following his conviction of a first-degree felony for injury to an elder person. 44-year-old Christopher Dunch was accused of deliberately injuring patients who went to him for surgeries. A Dallas County jury returned its guilty verdict Monday. Prosecutors said some patients had screws and plates incorrectly placed along their spines. One patient had a sponge left inside of their body, and another patient had a major vein cut. 2 of the former surgeon's patients died. Dunch attorneys argued that he was not a criminal, but rather a flawed surgeon.
In national news, President Donald Trump is nominating an active duty military general as his national security advisor. Army Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster says he plans to remain on active military duty while leading the National Security Council. McMaster joins Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, both retired generals, in Trump's inner circle of national security advisors. McMaster is the replacement for Michael Flynn, who has been under recent FBI investigation for his contacts with Russian officials. Trump dismissed Flynn last week and announced McMaster as his nominated replacement on Monday.
In international news, in Quanecia, Guinea, at least 5 people were killed Monday during a student riot, according to a hospital worker who asked not to be identified. Teachers began to go on strike demanding higher pay, which was keeping students and others from classes. Motivated by this strike, students were protesting back at the teachers and even looting local stores and gas stations. Police and hospital workers confirmed that at least 30 people, including students and security forces, were injured and at least 12 people were arrested. Even after the injuries and deaths from the riots, the union announced Monday that the strike will continue until the demands of high pay have been granted. However, the government has said that an agreement had been reached before the riots. There has now been no new update on whether the unions and the government have thoroughly communicated about the agreement. For more of today's national and international news, we turn to the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. President Donald Trump has selected his new national security advisor. Army Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster is a prominent military strategist and known as a creative thinker. All 5 people on a plane were killed when the aircraft hit a shopping mall next to the airport in Melbourne, Australia. 4 of the dead were American tourists on a golfing vacation. The 5th was the Australian pilot. Authorities in New York say 11 people passed through an unattended security checkpoint at JFK Airport. 3 were identified and were to be examined when their planes landed. Officials are trying to identify the other 8. It's believed they boarded different flights. Rainstorms are causing rivers and creeks throughout much of California to overflow. Evacuations were ordered in several areas in the northern and central parts of the state. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
And now we go to Matt Hill for a field report on sports brought to you by TarletonSports.com.
Thank you, Haley. This is Matt Hill reporting from Wisdom Gym, the home of the Tarleton Texan basketball team, who was recently named #1 in their region. Associate head coach Chris Reisman said, "It's great recognition, and the guys have worked hard to earn the #1 spot, but there's still a long way to go. We must continue to stay focused." The Texans travel to the University of Texas Permian Basin this Thursday in hopes of winning a conference championship. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Matt. Tarleton will be offering a free trip for fans wanting to go to the University of Texas Permian Basin versus Tarleton basketball game this Thursday.
In other sports news, the Texan baseball team defeated Arkansas Fort Smith with a heavy-hitting offense. Texan softball won a series finale against Commerce and an opener against Texas A&M International. Track brought home 2 gold medals, one in the women's 5,000 meter and one in the men's high jump.
The weather today is brought to you by the National Weather Service. Today will be sunny with the high near 75, with winds from the north ranging from 10 to 15 miles per hour.
This has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.
Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 p.m. weekdays. If you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9.
You can follow Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news.
Today's broadcast was produced by Emily Parker, Matt Hill, Austin Farrar, and Hayden Frederick. Have a wonderful day, Texans.